Hello, gorgeous people. Well, today I'm going to talk about the difference between waking up to the world and waking up to yourself. Big difference. Big difference. And I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So I was out for a run the other day and I was talking to the emissaries, or they were talking to me. I was asking them questions. And we got into the subject of waking up to the world. Okay? And they said that there are many, many, many people waking up to the world at the moment. And as they wake up to the world, they are shifting into the side that you would call the awakened ones, yeah? But what I'm aware of, this is what I was talking to them about. I'm aware that suddenly there is so much infighting, so much attacking going on. People attacking one another, calling one another out here in Spain, also in the English-speaking awakened world, truther world. There's an awful lot of attacking going on. People calling each other names, saying that they're infiltrators and all of that. Yeah. And it was interesting because I listened to some guy who does the horoscope or whatever. I can't remember his name now. First time I'd seen him on Nicholas Bedialman. And he said the month of May is going to be a month in which all the truthers are going to start to fight. Okay? He was right. He was right. This has been it's been upsetting, curious the way that it's gone on. So this is how this conversation came up with the emissaries. And they were saying, right, so there are two levels of waking up. One is waking up to the world. Okay? And so what's happened is that many, many people have awakened to the world. And they have shifted into another camp, which is the awakened camp. However, they've brought all the shit with them. Whatever shit they had here is now here. Right? So they've brought all of the ego with them. And I know the ego is cliche, it's been talked about, but if you want to talk about it in layman's terms, it's like all the shit that they're carrying, all of the fears that they're carrying, all of the imbalances that they're carrying within them. They brought them with them. So yeah, they know that, the governments want the worst for us, that they're trying to kill us and poison us, and all. They know all of that. But that doesn't necessarily make them into super spiritual, wonderful people. That just means that they've got some information that they never had. And hey, it isn't like they just come in and so they're like that for a few weeks. No, some people are still there and they've been in the truther world for a long time and they're still there, and it's all ego. How do I know? Right? I do this little test, right? I do this little test when I'm listening to somebody, and I listen out for how many references they make to themselves and what kind of references they make to themselves. What I mean is this. We all have to use ourselves as a reference. I was talking to the emissaries, but the focus is that the conversation with the emissaries, not on I, if you understand. But when you get people who say, well, I am this kind of person, and I blah blah blah, and I, right? That's what I'm watching out for, the red flag, because when somebody is here, remember, everyone's here to help. When they are making references to themselves all of the time, and especially when they're bigging themselves up, and I want you to watch out for this, okay? I want you to listen out. They're bigging themselves up, and they are belittling their audience or belittling others, right? And I'm seeing this as a pattern. Me, I understand everything and you don't understand anything, right? I'm seeing it. I don't like this pattern that I'm seeing, and I'm seeing it quite widely spread, right? People blaming the audience. I think it's called gaslighting. Gaslighting is also another cliche, but basically saying you're the ones with the problem and I'm not. So I'll give you some examples. I heard somebody talking the other day, and he spent ages talking about how hard the people at the front end of how hard life is. People don't understand, right? So there you are. People, that's his audience, they don't understand. So that's a negative. People don't understand how difficult, our life is and what we have to put up with and everything. And, we are the front line people here and we need to be respected, right? That's really red flag for me. That's red flag because, look, if you were going to do this kind of work, don't fucking complain about it. Do it. Don't tell everybody how hard it is. Don't tell everybody what you have to go through. Nobody's interested in that. They want you to help them. Okay, that's your job. It isn't your job to tell them how tough it's been for you and everything. All right, we can use this anecdotal information, but I'm talking about this pattern that I'm seeing of blaming the audience. And I've heard this, I've heard it like 3 times just over the last few days of key people blaming the audience. And key people, I heard one man say, and I know that you're wondering, why am I not here producing wonderful information like I always do? And I think we would be the judge of whether that's wonderful information. I don't think it's not your place to tell us that we are bad because we want you to produce that wonderful information that you always produce. It's like it's all inverted toward themselves. Okay? I know that it's something that we're going through. I understand that. But please watch out for that, okay? Don't let them, because this is hypnosis the same, don't let them make you feel bad about you. Don't let them make you feel bad because perhaps you don't understand a concept, or perhaps that a concept doesn't resonate with you. Don't let them make you feel bad that they have financial problems. That's not your business, okay? I'm hearing all of this, and I need to make some money and I want you to help me. Red flags, okay? So just watch out for that. But let's get back to waking up to the world and waking up to self. What's the difference? Well, the people who have come over to our side and who are still egotistical, who are still wrapped up in their own selves, they haven't woken up to themselves. They've only woken up to the world. And hey, we can have people who are very knowledgeable, but they haven't woken up to themselves. What does waking up to yourself mean? This is the question I said because the emissary said that. There are 2 steps, waking up to the world and waking up to yourself. And I said, well, what does waking up to yourself mean? How does that work? And they said, all that you need to do is look at your life and decide where it is that you're lying to yourself. Where are you lying to yourself? Okay, so we've got our life, work, family, spirituality, health. Yeah. And they said, look at all of those areas and ask yourself, am I being true to myself? And I said, yeah, but that's difficult. How could it be easy for them to do? What's the measure? And they said, all that you need to do is to use the happiness meter, to use a meter of happiness. So you look at your spirituality and you say, how happy am I in my spirituality? And I'm not talking about happy because, somebody give me a great comment. No, in what I do, how happy am I? Okay? Do I feel good about that? And so we look at each area of our life and we say, am I happy in this area? We look at our family. Am I happy in my family? In our relationships, am I happy in my relationship? In our work, am I happy? Am I being fulfilled in my work? And score it on a scale. Yeah? And so what they said was that if you are not totally happy in each area of your life, then that's because you are lying to yourself. You are not being true to yourself. that there's something that's happening that you are dismissing or avoiding. And they give me the example of an alcoholic. Okay, and I've got my own thoughts on the word alcoholic. I think that's been abused too much. People who have dependency on alcohol, probably better to be said. The actual solution, stopping drinking alcohol, is easy compared to admitting that you have a dependency. It's the admission that actually takes years and years for people to do. The actual stopping, once you've admitted it, once you realize it, the stopping happens really quickly. All right, I mean, you have a few days where it's dodgy, but you can stop. But you can't stop until you've admitted it, until you actually look at your life and say, you see, we know that we're unhappy in certain areas of our life. We know that it's not going well. But it's one thing to know it and feel it, and the other one is to admit it. And that's the secret. That is how we wake up to ourselves. We look at each area of our life. We look at our relationship and say, am I happy? Am I being fulfilled in this relationship? We look at our work and we say, am I actually being fulfilled in this work? Or am I doing it because it's what's supposed to be done, because it's the only way I'm going to put bread on the table? It's because, right? All of those are lies, right? When we deny, we are lying to ourselves. And when we lie to ourselves, we are not, we don't get the gift of happiness that our unconscious mind gives us. Okay, so that's what the emissary said. Look at your life and just use a happiness barometer. Are you happy in every area? If you're not, look at that area and find out what it is that you are lying to yourself about. It's simple. I've got to do this job because I don't have any choice. Lie. It's a lie. Yeah. I'm staying in this marriage for the children. It's a lie. Okay? That's a lie. So, what is the truth? Well, I'm staying in this marriage because I'm too scared to leave. That's getting near the truth. I don't want to leave this marriage because I'm fearful. That's when you start actually looking at, well, how do I get rid of this fear? What am I scared of? What is it that could happen? Yeah? That's when you start making changes. But when we lie to ourselves, when we give ourselves excuses, then we never shift. So the emissaries then said, what we have to do is this. We have to accept responsibility for every single thing that is happening to us now. Total responsibility. We have created it. What happens when you accept total responsibility for everything that you've created, everything that you have? That means that you did it. That means that if you can do it, you can undo it. Yeah, you get power. You see, accepting responsibility gives you power. Then, if you accept responsibility, then you become the victor and not the victim. You see, the victim is the ego. The ego is a victim. Poor me, look what they're doing to me. Nobody understands me. I'm so good, but people can't see it. That's the ego. Okay? I'm better than other people. That's the ego. We blame other people. The ego blames everybody else for the shit life that we've got. That's it. Yeah? So when you stop lying to yourself, you can't blame anybody else. Yeah, my boss makes my life hell. Oh my God, if it's his fault. No, it isn't. It's your fault. It's your responsibility. So that's where we have to get to, where we have to be absolutely honest with ourselves. And I've had to reflect on this, and I know that there's certain areas in my life where I'm telling myself lies. I'm telling myself lies because it's easier. Then I can carry on just doing the same things. And that's something that I'm working on. And I would suggest that that's what you do as well. Start looking at what are the big lies that you're telling yourself that are stealing your happiness. Remember, the unconscious mind rewards honesty and it punishes liars. And if we are lying to ourselves, it will not allow us to be happy. And why is it that we've got to look at happiness? Well, happiness is love. Remember, we've got fear and love. Happiness is love. Anger, sadness, disappointment is all fear. Okay? So that's why we have to be in love. We have to be in love for us to be happy. for us to truly express ourselves, for us to be true to ourselves, to wake up to ourselves. And I'll leave you with those two very famous ideas about waking up to self. Before I woke up to myself, I chopped sticks and I carried water. And after I woke up to myself, I chopped sticks and I carried water. What's the difference? Before I woke up to myself, I chopped sticks and I hated every stick that I chopped. I carried water and the water was so heavy and it was painful and I hated every moment. After I woke up to myself, I chopped sticks and I marveled at nature and I give thanks for nature, and I felt the warmth of those sticks as I burned them. I carried water and I marveled at nature and I give thanks for the refreshment that water gave me, and I give thanks for the effort that I had to put in, the energy that I expended that kept me fit, that kept me healthy. Before I woke up to myself, I used to be depressed. After I woke up to myself, I continued being depressed, but it really didn't matter that much to me. There were other things that were more important. So that's what we have to do. That's our job. Watch out for the people who haven't woken up to themselves, who are putting themselves in a position where they're telling you what you are. Watch out for those people. They're not the people that we want to listen to. Work on yourself. Work on waking up to yourself. And if you've already done it, beautiful. I salute you. If you're in the process, I salute you. And if you're just starting off, I salute you. Beautiful. But it's a process, and that's what we need to do. So let's get ourselves shit hot, as we said. Getting shit hot is waking up to yourself and being true to yourself. Okay, have a lovely weekend. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.